On this fifth Sunday in Lent, we make a pit stop in Bethany. Almost every gospel has this stop for Jesus as before he goes into Jerusalem, and it's a very time out of time experience for Jesus. So let's explore that a little bit more as we go to Bethany and we sit with Mary and Lazarus and Martha and Jesus around the table. We have this story of 6 days before Passover. Uh, Martha and Lazarus and Mary have been Jesus followers for a very, very long time. They pop up in more than one gospel, so that's why we can know that they are very significant people in the story of Jesus' direct ministry. And as they're sitting around the table, Mary comes in with a jar of perfume and she opens it, pours it all over Jesus' feet, and dries it with her hair. Now, there's a couple things going on with that. One is it goes back actually to Mary Magdalene. This scene is copied almost completely with an unknown woman that we assume is a prostitute, and because Mary is the name of the person in the story of John, we assume all the Marys are the same, except Mary of Nazareth, of course. So that's why the early church thought Mary Magdalene was a prostitute, because they thought Mary Magdalene was also Mary of Bethany, was also this unnamed woman who was a prostitute. So we get a lot of befuddled thinking with this. And one of the other characters we have that we've got to unpack a little bit is Judas. Now, in the gospel itself, it tells us that Judas was a little sticky-fingered with the group purse. He would take money out for his own pleasure. And when it came to this perfume being spilled, he was upset and angry. And why are we wasting money like this when money could be sent to the poor? And Jesus very quickly calls him out on that. Now, have you noticed anytime that society wants to help others, we want to help those overseas, we want to help those who are less fortunate in any capacity, those who control the purse, those who have power, always say, why are we helping the others? We should be helping our own first. And they never actually want to help our own. They just don't want others to be helped either. That's who Judas is in this. He's that voice that we hear down through history of people who selfishly want to keep all the blessings to themselves, not share, not be stuck with just a portion when they can have it all. Judas is a wonderful foil that way, and I actually kind of feel bad for him as a person because he does everything wrong. But at some point, he had to be enough of a believer and a follower that he was included in the 12 to start with. There's something is redeemable about Judas, even if that's never ever presented. But in this particular time, we have Jesus getting annoyed and angry with Judas for missing the point completely. See, the thing with the pouring of the oil and the anointing of Jesus' feet and the cleaning of Jesus' feet is that this is a time out of time. Jesus is heading towards Jerusalem. Everybody around the table knows it. Everybody reading the gospel knows it. We know what is going to come. And in this moment, we have Mary in complete friendship and adoration, doing something she probably knows she won't get to do if Jesus is executed as a political prisoner, which he will be. So she takes the time to just comfort him and using her resources. And this is not a family that was poor. So she had plenty of resources to use, and she decides to use this beautiful, wonderful oil and wash his feet off with her hair. We have the sense that whatever's going on with Jesus will linger with her for a while because it's literally on her body. She wants to minister to him. She wants to make him feel good. In Maundy Thursday, we will hear the story of Jesus washing everybody else's feet with water. This is a desert place. This is hard walking, hard living. Jesus would rarely have the opportunity to be catered to like this. But Mary takes the moment. And Jesus reminds us that sometimes those moments are worth it. Don't try to analyze it. Don't try to decipher it. Don't try to dismiss it. Just be in that moment. It's so important on our Lenten journey to just stop for a bit reflect where we are, where we've come, where we're heading, especially this last week before Passion Sunday, before Palm Sunday starts, because Palm Sunday begins an 8-day period of incredible emotional stress for Christians. Emotional stress that Jesus and his followers would have experienced probably 100-fold in their first experience of it. And we have Mary, wise enough, smart enough, with enough forethought to know this is going to happen. And when the time comes, she won't have the opportunity to tend to him in death. So she chooses to tend to him in life. One of the other messages to get out of that, besides just taking time and taking a moment to breathe and relax, is how we as people treat those we value. I was reading a newsletter just the other day, and a woman who taught me so much about international affairs, about refugees, about Christian giving, about stepping up for your neighbor, died a few years ago. And even though I kind of knew she was gone, it hit me again that she was not going to be around. We could never have another conversation. I could never have another opportunity to thank her. But I had thanked her already. I had thanked her numerous times throughout my life. I hadn't waited for that last moment, that last opportunity. So often we as a society, especially a Western society that has a lot of English influence, and no shame on the English, it's just how the culture is built. We do not tell people or show people how they're valued. In fact, many of us are extremely uncomfortable doing that. I've had many instances where people are like, don't tell me, I don't want to talk about it right now. And that's to be honored, of course, but every single one of us needs to hear, while we're still healthy, while we're still moving, while we're still doing our thing, that we matter to the people who will cry at our funeral. Mary is preparing Jesus in some ways for his death and for what the women are expected to do for dead bodies in first century Palestine. But she's also anointing him with life. The scent of the perfume, the feel of the oil, the texture of her hair, everything that his senses can pick up is right there in front of him, because she does not want him to go on without some physical encounter showing how much she respects him, how much she celebrates him, and how much she worships. And worship in the real meaning of the word, not what we do on Sunday morning, but worship as a form of respect and paying an homage to him. It's a wonderful process for us to follow, that we pay attention and we give when the time has come. Jesus is right. The poor are always going to be with us. The sad things are always going to be with us. The horrible instances are always going to be with us. If we delay everything we do based on the assumption that whatever money we spend, whatever thing we do is better spent on someone else, then we not only miss the opportunities, but we miss the option of saying, you matter to me. Just this week, someone I've known for a number of years is really, really struggling. So a couple of us got together and gave them a gift bag, essentially, a series of gift bags to get over a very trying hurdle in their life. Now, this is a person who is incredibly capable, incredibly generous, incredibly loving, talented. I mean, they are in many ways everything you would aspire a child of yours to be. I love them dearly. But they felt isolated. They felt lost. And when the gifts we gave showed up, they were absolutely blown away. It wasn't even the items, it was the thought. We as Christians, we as Westerners, we as humans have to take the time out of our journey, out of the hardships, out of seeing all the misery around us, and let one other person know that they matter, maybe several others, depending on our situation. A number of years ago when I was in Nicaragua, I shared my meal with a woman, and she was starving, and she ate it up gladly. And the group I was traveling with was really annoyed with me for doing that. And their response was, there's all sorts of problems in the world. And my counter to that was, yes, but she was here, and she was one I could solve, even if it was just till her next meal. We have the ability. This is something that Christ kept reminding us. We have the ability to make the community of heaven available to people on earth on our journey. We don't have to wait till that magical time when all the other troubles are solved. It's probably not going to happen in our lifetimes. So we have to make the moments count. We have to pour the proverbial perfume, tell the people that we celebrate them, recognize that God is calling us to be more than just people who deny ourselves and others' benefits. There is a joy in Christianity. It is not meant to be a constant hardship, a constant thinking of how horrible other people are, so how dare I have any enjoyment or satisfaction. That's not our faith. Our faith is against overindulgence, but it's not against celebrating each other. And this fifth Sunday of Lent, I encourage you to take time out of your journey to celebrate those around you and recognize the importance of prepping them up, because you essentially are going to make them ready to do whatever it is that's next in their journey, whether you're part of it or not. You are going to love into them the energy and the assurance and the conviction that they can do what's next. And there's no greater expression of what the community of heaven is really about.